back underway. In the last video, we had just left Causeway Cove, and we were heading out underneath this bridge and back up the I.C.W. I've heard this called the Atlantic I.C.W. To me, it's all the I.C.W. Intra-coastal waterway. And there's the same stuff kind of to see when you're underway. Bridges and a little bit of land to the left and to the right. The temperature was nice, cool in the shadows and warm in the sun. Perfect. Water was calm, mostly. And traveling wasn't really too eventful, which is pretty good. We were making our way north and headed up towards Vero Beach. Right next to this bridge, we were going to anchor up. We had plenty of water, plenty of space, and with low winds, we weren't worried about rafting up. I do believe we stayed rafted up here the whole night.
Tell me when the back is lined up with my step up.
You got a bit to go still. That's pretty good. At this point, Good Times and Kontiki had been rafted up so many times that we had the procedure down pretty good. Good. Yay! Happy day! Happy day! We didn't crash. Yep, Vero Beach. Beautiful spot. I am somewhere else right now. I've got the curtain down so you can't see where because it's a long way from Vero Beach. Oh yeah. When we stopped, one of the things we did is we met some friends of Mike's, people that he knew for a long time. They picked us up in a pretty fancy golf cart. Took us for a tour of the surrounding area. It was obvious that the surrounding area was very affluent. And honestly, usually when I find myself in the presence of a lot of money, I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel like I belong. However, Vero Beach seemed a little bit different. I mean, everywhere you look, there were 100-year-old oak trees, live oaks. And they took a lot of pride in their parks and Mother Nature. The surrounding waterways were just drop dead gorgeous. Any paddler would go past these spots and think this is heaven. So it wasn't just people dominating their presence over the world. It was them coexisting. People that were not only wealthy as far as money is concerned, but as far as spirit too, I think. Not too many places do I think, if I had a lot of money, would I hang out here. Usually I think to myself, if I had a lot of money, I would probably disappear in the woods somewhere. But Vero Beach was exceptional. It was a great spot. I took my phone out and I filmed some of these amazing little streets overgrown with canopies of trees. And I don't know what happened when I tried to transfer the video from my phone to the computer. It got corrupt, and so I got nothing for you, which is why I'm sitting here talking to you about it, trying to give you a sense of what it was like. It was neat. I want to say thank you to my new friends, Mike's old friends, for taking me on that journey, and he'll probably have videos about it eventually when he gets to it. I don't know when that will be, Mike. You're a little bit behind on your videos. However, I did want to talk about that, and also the fact that when I left to go on to the Great Loop with Mike, we left with the impression that we were going to be in Fort Pierce in about 7, maybe 10 days. And it obviously took us a lot longer to get there. The initial idea was that the adventure would start once we got to Fort Pierce. We would jump off from there, kind of, sort of, and the adventure started a lot sooner than that, didn't it? Yes, it did. And it has continued since. One of the things that was special about Vero Beach was that it was the next step beyond Fort Pierce for me, for the spot that we thought we were going to start the journey. Well, it took us forever, it seemed, to get there, according to what our initial plan was. And Vero Beach was one step beyond that, finally. So that's why Vero Beach was a little bit special to me, and unfortunately I don't really have any video to show you the place. Not that that necessarily would really give you an idea of what it meant to me on my journey along the Great Loop. And yeah, so speaking of which, after Vero Beach, we continued the very next morning. We got up a little bit early, and I remember it being pretty nice. And our Great Loop adventure continued. I am well provisioned, well rested, and look at this morning. So flat and calm. Been a long time. I've got my coffee to help get the cobwebs out. Even got a little Reese's peanut butter cup. It's gonna be a beautiful day. Moving day. I think it's gonna be busy. Mile 95.18, really? Okay. Yep. We're back underway. I just left an anchorage here. There are lots of little islands. If I had a lifetime, I couldn't explore every single one of them. Look at that boat over there. That's a decent sized boat. Miniature version of mine. And he's right up on the beach. I wonder if that's intentional. Anyways, yeah, so we're back underway. Next stop, somewhere past Sebastian. I don't know. Somewhere that way. Heading north-ish. This had been the first time in a long time that the wind wasn't really blowing, and it was a weekend, but it really wasn't too bad. Most of the boats we saw were going slow like us. The sailboats, at least. That's nice. Pleasant boats, doing pleasant speeds. It was just a cool breeze going down the I.C.W, or up the I.C.W. Bunch of little boats, people out enjoying themselves, having a good time, no craziness. A lot of sailboats, like I said, but I did get to see some really cool power boats. That is a cool bridge, man. Look at that boat. I could see doing the I.C.W on that thing for sure. I could see living on it, although I wouldn't want to pay his fuel bill. I don't want to pay my fuel bill. And big boats tend to have big drafts. Shows me to the left of the channel now, but yeah, no thanks. Wouldn't want to be near that with the deep keel of a sailboat. Sometimes use your eyeballs instead of the chart. Not a lot of water over there.
This gets better as we get away from that inlet, this inlet up there.
Traffic you're talking about?
Yeah, look at it all going in and out of the inlet over there. And imagine they going out at 12 out there.
It's the first time it hasn't been blowing in like 2 weeks.
I think that sailboat just recognized you.
Shout out to all my blow motor friends.
That he was just really liking your Kon-Tiki.
I certainly have seen a lot of fans along my way on this journey, and a lot of boats.
Welcome to pleasure, buddy.
Mike and I would lament about that every once in a while. Good news is the traveling was almost done for the day. Well, here we are. Mike's showing me the way. I'm coming up behind. We plan on leaving early in the morning, so we're just going to drop anchor and stay here for the night. Maybe make a little food, take the dogs ashore somewhere. We'll find a place. He says it looks like a boat ramp up there. Perfect. Yeah, it's been an interesting trip. From we passed Sebastian Inlet, and then it felt like I almost touched bottom or something. Couldn't tell what it was. I thought maybe I had caught a crab trap line or something. I looked back, I could see the wake had changed. Something had happened. It happened again. I could see the RPMs dipping. Something was afoot. I went downstairs, watched the motor, because I had pulled the hatch. I was looking at it, looking for signs that things were bad. And it just stalled out. And I was like, okay. Brand new motors. Very nice. Well, it turned out to be the choke had engaged for some reason or another. Maybe because I didn't have 12 volts to it. I don't know how these electric chokes are supposed to work. I did put 12 volts to it at one point and it got hot, so I just left that wire off. But yeah, so I had to use like a little zip tie to keep the little flap there open. Cranked it over, no problems. I thought I had a fuel issue or something. I went right to the carburetor, and fortunately that's what it was, something simple. But my heart was in my chest. So I'm looking forward to dropping anchor here. Just so I can relax a little bit. Always seems to be something. But it's alright. 1 mile at a time. One problem at a time. Still have a few to work out. By the time I'm done with this trip, there'll still probably be a few to work out. And we'll address them as we can.
Very cool, coming in on low tide.
I was just thinking that. Easy, boy, easy. This little area where we're coming into had some boats that looked like they had been lived on for quite some time. It almost felt like we were coming into a little community, a place people called home. You think you want to wrap up for now?
Sure. I think we'll be fine.
Port or starboard? Which side you want me on?
You're normally on my starboard. Are your bumpers still out for that?
Affirmative, I'll come around. Part of the plan that Mike and I had was to anchor up as often as we could to help try to eliminate some of the costs of marinas. And whenever the weather was fair, like it was today, anchoring up really wasn't a problem. The winds were predicted to lay down tonight, so this was a perfect opportunity. Neither Mike nor myself have a lot of money, and we questioned whether or not we'd be able to afford this trip. This is definitely one way we help to make it happen. Because when opportunity knocks, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Today our plan worked out perfectly.